I'm Dylan McLemore.
And I'm Chris Besjin.
And together, we're the Bananaramas.
We're the Bananaramas.
Our goal in this video is to go over our experiment, what we did right, what we did wrong, what we could do better, and how our experiment went, and the documentation in the process. So for this slide, we have our lab notebook. Yeah, this is the BRE lab notebook, and we have a link to it right here, just to show us, or show you with forensic evidence that we have done all this. Here, let's see if we can get that. Boom. Rolling down, we got some pictures here too from when we did the experiment. And then scrolling all the way down, we got just some of our last entries that we did. Right here is the works cited page. As you can see, that is right here. This is one of our face picks that we did just to prove. This one, it doesn't look too good, but I mean, it is what it is. That's just to prove that we actually did the experiment. Because when we first did this, we made the mistake in not having our faces in the experiment, so there was no proof that we actually did it, but that was taken in the same place as the experiment with the boxes, just for proof. Here is the color ripeness charts that we used for the experiment also, just for further proof that that was us who did the experiment. All right, so this is our poster right here. Worked very hard on this. Questions: do bananas affect the rate at which fruit ripens? Can the speed at which fruit ripens be manipulated by exposing it to the bananas? And for our last question, we have, how can bananas affect how fast fruit ripens? Ripening is a very complex genetic and organic process that most commonly happens in fruits and vegetables. This biological phenomenon is irreversible, which means that there is no way to return the fruit to its original state. The process of ripening can cause the fruit to change colors, become softer, and have a change in the aroma. Ethylene is a plant hormone that plays a significant role when it comes to the process of ripening within many fruits. Ethylene production is usually increased during the later stages of the fruit's growth and development. The primary discovery of this gaseous plant hormone, ethylene, is Johann Joachim Becher. He obtained ethylene gas by heating up ethanol and sulfuric acid together in 1669. However, it was later recognized as a plant hormone by Dmitry Neljubov. And for our hypothesis is the group being exposed to bananas will ripen faster than the group without bananas.
So for our experiment aims to show whether bananas help fruit ripen faster. And we have two groups, one group with tomatoes, mangoes, and avocados without bananas ripening, and another group with the same fruits, just with bananas, so we can correctly see which group ripens faster. And on the right, we have pictures of our experiment.
All right. So we also, along with those pictures, have our chart right here, which goes over all the results that we got for all the days in our experiment. And our experiment actually went against our hypothesis, which was pretty surprising to us. We thought the bananas was going to speed up the rate at which fruit ripens. However, these graphs along with this data table shows that, unfortunately, in our case, that did not happen.
For our analysis, the data we collected indicates that the exposure of bananas to fruits does not affect the ripening process, and both control groups relatively ripen the same. One of our questions was, do bananas affect the rate at which fruit ripens? Our research concluded that the gaseous plant hormone ethylene, which has increased production during the fruit's later stages, causes the fruit to produce aroma, become softer, and change colors. We hypothesized that the group exposed to bananas will rot faster than the group without bananas. Our data shows that the rate fruits ripened at mostly stayed the same. The data did not support our hypothesis and did not go as expected. Some difficulties during this project are correctly recording the data shown and getting the right color charts so you can correctly assume the data. Another difficulty was correctly recording it every day, and if you miss one day, it can throw off the entire project. Some possible errors include getting the same fruits from the same supermarket and making sure they're all at the same ripening stage. For our conclusion, our project covers the process of ethylene gas speeding up the ripening of fruits. We learned that from this experiment that if bananas are exposed to a fruit in an area with no airflow, the ripening process is not sped up. Scientists Ashley Seifring, Devin Seifring, and Colby Herman concluded that in their experiment that greens that green bananas ripen faster when exposed to ripe bananas. According to our experiment, however, the ripening process did not change. In conclusion, our experiment is significant because it provides new research to see if locking fruit in an airtight box slows down the ripening process. In the future, 2 other control groups can be added with airflow.
Something else that we wanted to touch on our experiment, just to make it a little bit more precise, is that we forgot in our presentation the first time we did it, but we're adding it now, is just to make sure that we know and everyone else knows that the temperature that was the experiments and all the data was recorded was at room temperature. Wasn't hot, wasn't cold, wasn't in the fridge, just room temperature, around 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you, Mr. Heinen, for listening to our presentation. I know it was a little long, but we had a lot to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Heinen, for listening to our presentation.
Hey, Mr. Heinen, or no, I don't like that. Okay, wait, I'm gonna just like.
Count me down.
Wait, look at me, look at my. I'm gonna do this on the 3rd one I go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay.
We're the Bennett.
Today
Shut up! I'm trying to record. I'm Dylan McLemore.
And I'm Chris Bejjan.
Perfect. Okay, we need a login, dude.